Today's video is going to be attaching braided elastic to swimsuit fabric. To put the braided elastic on to the swimsuit fabric, I'm going to be using the 3-step zigzag number 5 on my machine. I'm using 1/4-inch braided elastic, my swimwear fabric. Now, how I do this to make it easy on myself, I start with just the elastic in the sewing machine. Leave me enough tail to hang on to it back here. And do a couple stitches into the elastic. Just the elastic, no fabric yet. Then I leave it when it's the rightmost position where it's on the edge of the braid. And then lift my presser foot. Get my swimwear fabric. Put it in there, lining up. It's a little difficult to see. Lining up the fabric with the edge of the elastic. Takes a little bit of practice to get it in there. Lower your presser foot. Now you have the little bit of fabric tail back here, that the elastic tail, to help guide it through. You're not pulling, you're just giving a tiny little bit of tautness to it. Line up your elastic. Depending on how well you've fitted your swimwear, you may have to pull on the elastic a little bit, not a lot, just a tiny little bit, to help gather it up when it's wearing it. Or if you tailored it really well, you don't really have to pull it too much, because the spandex, the sport fabric or swim fabric, and the braided elastic will stretch about the same. And I'm using the same color thread in the bobbin as in the needle thread. The 3-step is a much better zigzag than the regular zigzag for elastic. It tends not to pull it left and right so much, and anchors it a little bit better with the extra stitches in it. There, the elastic is attached to the fabric. This is how the 3-step looks. Now what you want to do is roll it over and get the elastic and the fabric folded over as close as possible. And if you leave the extra tails out of the elastic, it's a little easier to guide through the machine. Now this is where I use the number 3 zigzag stitch. It's a stretch stitch. You've got a 1/4 inch. So what you want to do is try and get as close to this edge as possible, but not miss it. So feel your fabric here, take a look, line it up. Do a lock stitch. Then you have this extra tail of the elastic to help guide it through. And you use your fingers to make sure that the swimwear is and the elastic is pushed all the way to the edge. Now, I'm using the lightning bolt. Some people like to use the zigzag. Let me switch over to that so you can see how that looks on it. Let's take a look and see what we've got. This is the lightning bolt stitch. I think that looks nice. That's the outside exterior of the fabric. This is the inside. Then this is what the zigzag would look like. Doesn't look bad. I just don't think it looks as professional as the lightning bolt. Then the inside of the fabric on that. And that's how I typically attach braided elastic to swimwear fabric.